Hello everyone, this is Marche. We're here doing another melee analysis. Specifically this time we are looking at Axe versus Mew2King from the grand finals of Summit 5 crew battles. Really interested in this because it's the first time since, it's the first time I've ever seen Mew2King go Marth against Axe's Pikachu. I do believe I saw it one time, I believe I saw a VOD of it from Zenith 2011, um, which I haven't looked at, but that would be interesting to look at as well. But I specifically wanted to look at this because when I watched it live, I saw Mew2King going for a lot of things that I don't really see other top Marths going for. And I think a lot of that does have to do with Mew2King knowing Axe's habits really well. But there's still things that I want to see Marth's going for, so I want to try to highlight those as much as possible. It is unfortunate that this is not only just a single match, but also Mew2King starts to stock down, but it still has a lot of good things to look at. So let's get
I
started
do
on
with
the
my
video.
other with the gray stick
I'm
because I
just going to mute Scar and everyone who's commentating with him. So they start with a neutral start. Mew2King does get caught in shield early. He's prioritizing trying to get to center stage here. Axe is dash dancing like a madman. Uh, Mew2King knows not to be too impatient going back to the ledge. He immediately, honestly, these two are so fast. I didn't want to try and like stop and rewind too much during this video, but they're actually just so crazy fast. So uh, let's start from here.
I'm so
Oh God, okay, hold on, that's the wrong. My spacebar got set to the mute and unmute audio. Interesting. I've never seen that happen before. So we see Mew2King go for forward throw F tilt. He knows forward throw F smash won't work. To my knowledge, forward throw F tilt also doesn't work, but it is slightly more likely to catch Pikachu when Pikachu does DI poorly. In my experience, Pikachu actually has to DI fully in order to get hit by F through F smash. So it shows a little bit of knowledge here, and it's much less of a commitment than F smash. So we see Axe actually show his hand really early. I guess he was expecting Mew2King to go for the immediate drift in here. So right after he gets that, he was expecting Mew2King to go for the to get a little bit of momentum going forward before he does this side B and just try to drift straight to the ledge. Mew2King does a really nice delayed drift instead. This is fantastic right here. So Mew2King uses absolute like all of the space he has. He gets hit by the down tilt. He knows Axe loves to follow up down tilt with Nair. Unfortunately, frame by frame is like taking a little bit on each frame. So this is not going to be a very smooth frame by frame here. But oh, man, why is this happening? I guess it's just because of how long, this VOD is. But Mew2King gets a full dash dance here. And in fact, Axe didn't even go for an air. He went for the forward air, which has even more forward range. I don't know if that was on reaction to seeing Mew2King. All right, I'm just going to go in real time because the frame by frame is not really working out right now. Frame by not full time. I'll slow it down to half speed. Yeah, okay. So he does. I thought he did this, but I wanted to look at it in slow motion to know for sure. So he gets hit by the down tilt. Axe actually just went for the fair. I don't know if he was trying to catch Mew2King off guard or if that's a flubbed input. Only Axe himself would know that. But Mew2King does something really good here, which is he doesn't just dash back. Because that's usually not quite enough distance for Marth to actually get away from Pikachu's aerials. He dashes and immediately wave dashes back, and then does one more short dash and pivot grabs. Yeah, and it's perfectly spaced. And like, yes, that's a lot to have to do, but being able to do that and make use of all the space you have and punish Pikachu's like all-in approaches like that makes such a difference. And then Mew2King That was so smooth. Holy shit. I love Mew2King's Marth. That's so fast, and he covers the early like the early double jump. I don't know if Axe was reading that or if Axe was just trying to stall a little bit and just wait for a reaction from Mew2King. Either way, it worked out. He gets on. Mew2King does it again. All right, so Mew2King knows. He knows that just dashing away is not enough, which I love to see. This is the main thing that while I was watching, like I want to see more Marths taking this kind of cue because Mew2King clearly knows uh, that you cannot play this matchup the same way that you play against a Fox. Um, so he does a bit too high of a nair on this second one. Pikachu is a really short character, so you do have to you can't really just go for those auto cancel nairs unless you're reading like an approach, which he might have been here. It's quite possible he was reading an approach, in which case it makes sense that he went for that. Honestly, nair's probably not what you want to do if you're not reading an approach. Uh, all right, even in slow motion, I actually thought he was falling through this. That was such a good drift. Oh my god. How do you? I'm so glad I'm watching this in slow motion. That's such a he. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Hold on. Can you see it? You can. So he drifts slightly toward the platform and then starts pulling back, and then wave lands onto the platform. That's so tricky. That's actually crazy. Even in slow motion, I was tricked. And Axe goes for the hard read up smash. So that up smash is a little bit tricky. I actually don't think it would have hit. If you look at, like, if Mew2King was actually drifting back toward the platform, he would have been around here. It's actually pretty unlikely that this would have hit, but he's at 22%, and the worst thing Mew2King could have fallen down with is either a fair or a down air. And that neither of those are extremely likely to hit. He also could have gone like all the way to ledge and then ledge hop fared, but that's still just a fair. So like I don't think Axe got the spacing very good here, but there's so much to gain from hitting that up smash, and there's very little to lose in this situation. Marth's not going to get a follow up whatever he hits unless he really hard commits to the dare, which I don't want to say that's not Mew2King's style because he does do that, but he definitely he has phases, and I don't think we haven't been seeing him go for it. Like he started out the match with some stray down airs here and there, and they weren't really paying off, and he hasn't gone for them since. I don't know if Axe was paying that much attention to it, and I might be reading into it a little bit too much as well. But regardless, that was an insane, just like micro drift back to bait out this commitment. He shield drops, get the back air. I don't know if he really meant to do such a high fair here. He might have been reacting to seeing Axe do his dash turnaround, and might have thought Axe was going for something. But he does get that nice F throw, and all right. Well, I praised him for not doing the F throw F smash earlier, but he not only does an F throw F smash, he does an F throw charge F smash. What? He saw that the DI was wrong, and was actually okay. So no, that's actually really cool. He saw that the DI was wrong, and he tried to cover the jump back to ledge. It's actually really cool. I need to do that too. And that was just kind of good spacing. Yeah, that's just a really respectable platform land. He gets the runoff. Like, this is all so good. Like, he sees the DI isn't perfect. He follows him off stage. He knows he can get back before Pikachu can do anything. He was a little bit too slow for that. The safer option would have been to... honestly... So, like, he could have nared, which would have basically guaranteed that regardless of whether Pikachu was in front or behind him, like, he would have hit. But I would have liked to have seen a get-up attack here because it covers what Axe actually does here, which, like, based on Axe's positioning, he's almost always going to go for this 50-50 here, where he's positioned such that he can either do the straight across angle and get the short landing lag, or he can go to ledge. And how far away was he? Because he might have also had. Uh, he was a little bit too close, but if he was a little bit further away, then he also had the mix-up where, like, he can go for ledge, but then hold up and right and still be able to make it onto stage, even if Mew2King held ledge. But what I would have liked to see is a get-up attack from Mew2King, because that would cover the ledge. It would make sure Axe didn't have the option to go to ledge here, and it would still hit him if Axe went for this recovery. It wouldn't be a huge benefit, but Marth doesn't really get huge benefits in this matchup anyway, and the fact that it would have left that ledge option as like actual death if Axe had gone for it would have been really nice. So he gets on stage. He doesn't get hit by the down smash, which is good. That is so smooth. I love seeing that. Mew2King is actually just so smooth getting the ledge, and he always fast falls it. Why did he go for the nair? So I actually don't know why he went for the nair there. I don't think that, or sorry, not the nair, the neutral V. I don't think it covers Pikachu very well. I think I actually can't think of what Axe could have done from that point that the nair would have covered. Like, unless he hadn't, unless he was doing it like before Axe even did that up air. But wouldn't have been a big reward if he hit it. The only thing that's nice about that is that it covers that space and gives Mew2King time to kind of get away here, which is an important thing. He definitely read Axe like trying to land on stage with that. Axe definitely doesn't go for that ledge hop nair regrab very often, so it's not surprising to kind of expect him to land on stage. Even for that, I still think Mew2King's spacing here is a little bit far away. Like, if you're going to go for that, it clearly wasn't on reaction, and then Mew2King runs away. I think he ran a little bit too far, and as you can see, yeah. So the big thing Marth has to do is use all of his space to retreat from Pikachu and not get caught by approaches. But if you retreat too early and too far, then Pikachu puts you in this situation where you just no longer have the space to do it, and that's exactly what happens to Mew2King here. He gets over that. Axe is a little bit too slow going down there. I don't know if he had time. He definitely did. He just didn't think he needed to. Really good by Mew2King getting down there in time. This whole sequence, they both know that shields are coming up. Like, shields are really good in this matchup. Marth doesn't want to go in for a raw grab against Pikachu because Pikachu is waiting for any careless approach from Marth that doesn't like have a hitbox associated with it to just nair and start his own shit. And Marth is just constantly afraid of Pikachu running in, so they're both very likely to put up shield in response to the fact that their opponent really isn't likely to go in for a grab. They're more likely to go in for an approach with a hitbox. So it does end up turning out in Axe's favor. All this whole sequence is kind of crazy. Ends up behind him. Tomahawk grab, which is fantastic. The dash behind grab is even better. So what makes the dash behind grab so great is that Marth really does not have an out of shield option to deal with this other than a short hop down air out of shield, and that is such a heavy commitment. Against a taller character, he could also full hop down air out of shield, which auto cancels if he doesn't fast fall it. I've seen Mew2King do that against Armada's Peach. But against Pikachu, you're not going to hit with a full hop down air. And hard reading that full hop down, or hard reading that Pikachu is going to go for this option is also really risky. So Mew2King gets away. He ends up trading. I assume that was a nair that came out really short, like that didn't quite make it out here. Yeah, it looks like a nair, and given how little distance Pikachu goes, I think it really had to be. Mew2King goes for an early double jump. And again, Axe gets caught by Mew2King's recovery options. I don't know how much that was planned. And this time Mew2King gets away. He knows he didn't have enough space to stay on platform this time, so he just runs straight off. But Axe read his get back on stage option here. I think Axe read this entire thing. Does Mew2King have a habit here? Hold on. All right, so let's see. He upbees. He fastball downers. He fastballs really low. I'm not sure if that's the reason X read it, but Mew2King fastball really low on that last refresh, and I'm not sure he usually does until he's ready to actually get up. Mew2King is kind of sharking here. He knows the spacing was wrong, so if he rolls on, that's really good reaction. He dodges that. Oh, he turned around. I didn't even realize he turned around. I thought he could have grabbed here. Yeah, so all right, and Axe commits there and gets killed for it. So really just good use of space by Mew2King. So like I mentioned the good reaction when he rolled in there, but that's actually extremely good if you're dash dancing and you realize that you don't have enough space to get away. Like rather than just shielding, which is what I always end up doing because it's the only thing I have time to react to because I'm not that good. The fact that he actually rolled in and took center stage back is really helpful. And he reacted to the tail spike on stage. Axe is almost always going to follow that up with either a grab or an up smash. Now that he's done it, that might not be true going forward, but or now that Mew2King has countered it, that might not be true going forward. I do think he had time for a less panicky option than down smash. Down smash is a really like, ooh, you know what? I'm probably wrong. His options were probably down smash or up B. So I didn't realize how close Axe was to getting that grab. Yeah, so down smash comes out frame 4 for Marth, and up B comes out frame 5, I think. The only other options that come out quickly like that, I think, are jab. So probably needed to go for that down smash, unless he could have acted a little sooner as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, so Axe has been doing this a lot. So Mew2King whiffs his aerial, and as soon as it's clear that the aerial is not going to hit, Axe wave dashes in. And Mew2King, he got a punish for it earlier, he just got a punish now. Mew2King kind of knew what Axe was going to do there. Like, he knew he was either going to do a neutral get up or roll in. And, like, if he did anything else, then it's reactable. And he responded to the roll in, but it was just a little bit too slow. I shouldn't have said he knew what he was going to. Okay. So I don't like the second fair here. It's kind of just pointless. Like, you know you're ahead of Pikachu already. But the fact that he continued going all the way forward. Yeah, so we see again the forward throw, runoff, forward air. He doesn't get a dash. I think if he jump cancels this grab, he actually gets it. Gets the force attack, and he just traces Axe really well here. It's really impressive. Yeah, so he crossed him up. He just got behind Pikachu before the hitbox of neutral air came out. Yeah, snaps the ledge. Doesn't hard commit to coming back on. So this is actually really good here. Axe backs away, and Mew2King comes back on before Axe sets up his spacing. The only like once Axe sets up his spacing, it's actually really hard for Marth to come back on. This is really true of any character, like any matchup that Marth has. It's really hard to get back on once they set up their ledge spacing. So he saw Axe back away from the ledge to get away from ledge hop fair, which Mew2King just hit him with. And now Mew2King gets up on stage while Axe is still kind of doing that, and he gets the neutral air punish when Axe is kind of like late to the party, trying to get back on. Gets the spot dodge. I don't know if Mew2King needed to shield here. Um, I don't know how quickly he stands back up, but the fact that he shielded probably put him in more lag than he would have been otherwise. Not that in real time that's something you could react to, but if he hadn't, he probably could have just like F smashed or turn around down smashed here. Uh, and Axe is just so fast. He gets up there again. Axe commits to that and gets caught. Yeah, so. Oh no, Mew2King shielded. So you don't want to shield Pikachu's up B. You actually want to hold down. Uh, Ideally, actually just hold C stick down, not even control stick down. But depending on what state you're in, you don't necessarily want to get stuck in the down smash. But you don't want to shield Pikachu's up B. It doesn't. It puts like being stuck in shield delays your reaction way more than getting hit by the up B does. But Axe does many weird things there and gets hit by this instead. He gets the forward smash, but I would have liked to see either like an up air to start sharking or like an up like a quick turnaround reverse up B. Because like you can see that he can see that that's not going to be a tipper spacing. Like really any of us can see that. Like if he was gonna go for it, like maybe walk forward a little bit. He just like he just got the hit and he wanted to make sure he didn't waste it, which I respect. Uh, Getting on ledge there is really good. Like I said earlier, I kind of wish he had gone for a get up attack with that spacing. I also wish he had gone for a grab there instead of a forward smash. Like these are at percents where like if you're not going to potentially kill with something, you really should just go for the safest option you can. And in this case, that option would have been a grab. I don't think Axe had time to get away from a grab, but the forward smash was slow enough that he did. Now he has Axe up in the air, and he's sharking a little bit. I'm not sure if Mew2King wanted to dash here. I personally would have, but oh, pancakes under the grab. Okay. So I was going to criticize this right here. He's turning around. This is something Mew2King has done with Sheik as well, which is to have your back facing Pikachu and still shield. Uh, in this situation, it wasn't like a deliberate thing. That's just how it like already was, and Axe went for the neutral air anyway. But Axe, you can shield grab Pikachu in this situation, which is very, I don't want to say tricky, but uh, it makes the cross up nair, which is usually like a really hard thing for Marth to deal with. It makes it a lot easier because just get a free shield grab out of it. He goes for the nair instead, which I wish he just shield grabbed, but because the nair required Axe to do like a very specific thing afterward. In this case, it was roll, but what I think he was actually covering was Axe doing a really quick like land and then just turn around and do another one to get back to center stage. Because Axe has done that a couple times in the last few minutes. I don't know how or why Mew2King read Axe taking that angle. Axe definitely was in a position where I guess he actually wasn't. He could have started his up B a little bit earlier and been in a position where he still could have reached the sweet spot on the ledge, and this up B would have missed. But he does hit it because Axe didn't quite get the sweet spot. So here, when Axe is in this situation, he will almost always do either a neutral B or a side B. So you can preemptively, like once he starts falling from whatever hit knocked him back, yeah, it's just guaranteed death here. How did he get sent there? Oh, he actually just wasn't close enough. Right, so he didn't have a double jump there, which actually changed the situation. But in that recovery situation, Axe will very frequently, like at the same consistent height, he will go for either a neutral B or a side B. So you can jump out preemptively and punish that really hard. Uh, but he still ended up getting the edge hog there. So this should be a kill. Yeah, he neutral B'd one too many times. The one thing that's nice, or the one thing that you can do against Axe is that he's actually pretty much always going to go for that get up attack. So if he hadn't done the last side B and had instead of doing this side B, if he falls to about here or here without doing a side B, then Axe will almost always go for because Axe doesn't have ledge invincibility now, so he can't go for ledge hop nair. So he's basically always going to go for the neutral B or the ledge attack, which you can smash the guy in to eventually recover from it. But instead he dips a little bit too low and the get up attack just straight up edge hogs him. Axe manages to take center stage back. I don't like this falling this falling up air from Axe. I think you're much better off either just not committing to an attack while landing. He could have wave landed behind Mew2King, and then either gone for a grab or just done pressure from behind Marth's shield. Or he could have just double jumped and gotten away. Or he could have even landed with a nair, which I believe is significantly safer on shield. Either way, I don't think the falling up air when Mew2King has been in shield is a good option. The only reason that I would advocate. Okay, I was wrong. He was not already in shield, but I still don't really think you want to go for a landing up air unless unless you think your opponent's going to be in the air. Because at these low percentages, it's not going to take the opponent off the ground, especially if they're landing from a shuffle, in which case they're holding down. So it really would have been better to just get behind Mew2King here. There's nothing Mew2King is going to do after landing from a nair, unless he goes for another nair immediately. That's really the only thing he's going to do that would punish landing and like wave landing in toward him. So Mew2King gets that. Axe gets away because Pikachu has very little vulnerability on his getup here. All right, so here we see what I was just talking about. So Axe does the up air on Mew2King's shield. Mew2King wave dashes out and then goes for a quick dash attack. But Axe actually escaped to the top platform and then fell down with a nair on reaction. Or possibly not on reaction, I'm not sure. We see more of Mew2King using, like mixing dashes and wave dashes to get away from Axe's movement. We see, again, Mew2King kind of missed the spacing here. Like that was not an invincible ledge stall. Axe actually tends to threaten getting on stage with options that are very punishable, especially for Marth. Like if of any character. All right, I thought I rewound to it, but I lost the place. So we see a nice walling there right here. They're kind of so one thing that Axe is doing really well. He's actually just not going anywhere near Marth's hitboxes until it's on his own terms, and that's something a lot of players they try to dance right outside Marth's sword, and it just doesn't work. Axe stays well outside of it until he's ready to go on in on his own terms. He makes his first movement inward, and then if it's not looking right, he backs off and waits for the next opportunity. But then once he's in, and he stays in until the Marth gets away. Yeah, so we see again, like, Pikachu, Axe had a ton of opportunity to go for a grab here, but it's just not part of Pikachu's game plan. Uh, we see Mew2King goes for the Wave Dash away on reaction here. I wish he had actually just shielded and then grabbed Axe coming back on the other side. Axe gets the cross up before the Nair, so it pushed Mew2King away, so we couldn't do it on that one. Falls down with a fair, which Axe is a little bit too far away for. And Axe knows he's too far away for this. Axe is actually just so good at spacing that. And I pointed this out earlier, but you can see he always punishes. As like he goes for whatever option he's doing as soon as Marth lands. Like the instant Marth lands here, he's starting his down tilt. Like earlier, I pointed out that he wave dashes in, that he was wave dashing in as soon as Mew2King landed, and Mew2King was getting he got a grab at the start of the game for it, and he got an F smash later on. This time he just doesn't move inward. He just goes for the down tilt and then goes for a forward air follow up, which I am not a huge fan of. Forward air has some uses, but I don't personally like to use forward air against a grounded opponent. There are a couple of cases where, like against really light characters, it does lead to some true links, but this isn't a percent where that would kill. This isn't. He landed on the wrong side of Marth. There's just a lot that it doesn't do really well. I do like using it to catch opponents like when they're in the air. Hit them with it, and then like falling up air afterward. It's hard to deal with. Mew2King mistimes the forward air there, and that's crazy. He gets. I don't know if Pikachu pancaked out or what, but somehow, despite the fact he grabbed the tail. He absolutely grabs the tail here. That's incredible. That's actually... And I think it only happened because he ledge cancels. He ledge cancels right here, and Pikachu's tail sticks back out. And he gets grabbed for it. That is absolutely bonkers. Oh, what was that button? Alright. Sorry, I just hit L, which I guess skips forward. Yeah, so he gets that grab, down throw. See, Mew2King right there could have back aired. I don't know why he didn't. I'm very surprised Axe went for the same recovery twice here. I don't know if he was just scared and went for a panic option, but like that right there, this seems like the prime opportunity to just up B straight to the right, because you either up B into Mew2King and have the low landing lag, or you're too low and you just kind of like bonk against the ledge and then grab it. There's no way Mew2King is going to read the hard commitment up B straight in, because like even if he does, it's way too much commitment when he has to take 2 more stocks. He can't be playing that way right now. So like, honestly, Mew2King could have even gone for the down air, the tipper down air right here. Like he gets, like as soon as that movement for that up B from Axe whiff, or that up air from Axe whiff, like he could have gone for the rising down air and probably would have hit. But he gets this, and then Mew2King would have had to done a forward B immediately to punish. The only thing I guess is maybe he was worried about Mew2King, it being a race condition with Mew2King attempting to go straight to the ledge, like wave dash back and snap ledge, but then he could have just buffered like up B to the right and then up B up and right to get on stage if Mew2King did go for that. But regardless, Mew2King gets the down air, the tipper down air this time, which seals the stock out. Mew2King escapes. Yeah, so we see this is the immediate second nair that Mew2King was afraid of earlier, and I believe this seals out the match right here. Yeah, Mew2King was a little bit too slow. Oh no, he does get this. Okay, sorry, I was wrong. I remembered there was a point where he got out of the get up attack trap, but he gets that, and then yeah. So in this situation, honestly, Mew2King is just a little bit guilty of not getting up from the ledge when he had the opportunity to. Um, like right here, he did not need to drift away from ledge, and the fact that Axe got that spacing. So he got that for two reasons. One, Mew2King didn't could have full drifted away from the ledge after this. Instead, he kind of stays in toward the ledge because he wanted to get the sword to hit Axe, but it just doesn't clip far enough on stage on this stage, and he also didn't do the up B as low as he could have. He got the tech though, which was fantastic, but then he trades with the next one, and that does seal out the stock. But um, I know I commented that from Marth's perspective instead of Pikachu's perspective, which is probably a little unusual for the Pikachu Melee R&D channel, but I'm more. I think I have more insight as to what Marth wants to go for in that matchup, and I'm more interested in what Mew2King's Marth is going for. I think he set up really good ledge traps, and I think he could have probably been even a little bit more aggressive with the ones he set up. Very unusually for Mew2King, I think he played the stage control game very well. And it might just be that that's what his panic reactions to Axis pressure ended up doing, but he almost always escaped to center stage when he had the opportunity, which gave him a lot of room to work with and helped him wall Axe out. I think he could have done more to actually do that. I think there were a lot of times where Mew2King was wave dashing, or not wave, was dash dancing, like not really ready to deal with Axe. He wasn't paying attention to the spacing. He was just dash dancing to keep himself actionable. But you saw other times that he would dash like specifically ready for Axe to do something, and as soon as he did, he would cancel his dash into a wave dash so that he could get that extra little distance and do a pivot grab or a pivot whatever to punish it. So it all worked out really well, and I think this might have swung in Mew2King's favor if he had had the extra stock to go with. From Axe's side, the pressure was fantastic. The spacing was fantastic. He never forced himself to go in against Mew2King's sword. He always stayed outside, like completely outside the range, and he knew that he had the ability to pressure Mew2King into losing stage. Just Mew2King was slipping through better than I think any Marth I've seen. I have not seen a Marth stay centered on the stage against Axe the way that Mew2King did here. So yeah, I really hope we get to see more of this, but for now, all right. Before I end, I want to think back to a couple moments from Axe's perspective. We know that his ledge dashing is really well. Or his ledge dashing is really, his ledge trapping is really good. Oh my god, edge guarding. I can't speak. But yeah, once Axe goes in, he's always super ready to follow up the pressure. I'm actually surprised he dashed forward here first. I guess he was reading the tech away. That's the only reason I can think of that he would do that. I do have to keep in mind that I'm watching this in half speed to keep up with everything that's going on. These two players are actually just so fast. It's really easy to like understate how fast Mew2King is. Oh, me go back to about here. I don't like that down smash. He really, I get why he did it. This is a situation where Mew2King, this roll away was the only thing that gets away from down smash. So I understand why he went for it, but Mew2King did do the roll away. So he gets punished for it. I just want to find some examples of like Axe pressuring Mew2King on stage. But like honestly, there aren't fantastic examples. Like there are no strings where Axe just had full stage control, full pressure. Um, like it really is Axe abusing his incredible movement to like apply that pressure every time Mew2King gave an opening. Um, so I guess for me, from Pikachu's side, the biggest takeaway for this is really just punishing Marth's landings reliably. Pikachu absolutely has the speed to close the gap between himself and Marth after he lands. It's not easy, but he has the speed to do it. You just gotta wait for Marth to actually land. Like Axe mistimed it a little bit on that one. That was just such good chasing. I don't understand how this sequence worked out. He got the back air. He just waits for Mew2King to dash in. Mew2King is trying to. One thing that's nice about Marth's dash and his wave dash is that he low profiles a little bit. Um, it's not super easy to catch him this way, but Axe does it. He actually, I don't know if he was intending on a pivot jump, but he got a pivot jump, and that's the reason he actually was still close enough to Mew2King to hit him. If he had gotten a dash jump, which might have been his intention, might not have. It's so hard to tell. Like he could have been hard reading exactly what just happened, or it could have been a very slight input flub on reading that Mew2King was going to dash back right here, in which case he was intending to just do a regular dash dance nair, and it happened to pivot and punish what happened what Mew2King actually did, and then he tracks that and gets the up smash. Just so many great individual moments here. It's a little hard to track like patterns and to track their game plan evolving just because it's only this one match, and even this one match was shortened by Mew2King starting with 3 stocks. Um, but yeah, there's a landing punish right there. Uh, and Axe is just so aware of how far Mew2King can drift on that. Was it right here? No, it's further back. Too far. Yeah, it's right here. Like, Axe knows that Mew2King can't drift close enough to hit him. And he's waiting to crouch cancel it too. Oh no, it wasn't. It was a wave. It was a wave land in place. All right, never mind. And then again, this sequence right here is so stupid. I cannot believe this worked. That's so dumb. That's absolutely incredible. Well, I hope my analysis helped a little bit. I know this wasn't a very long match, and I'm definitely out of the swing of analyzing, so I was a little all over the place in terms of how consistently I was analyzing certain things. I usually try to pick out a couple things in particular and focus on them throughout a set. But where this was only one match, I kind of just wanted to focus on each little interaction as much as I could. Um, Axe, I think the fact that Mew2King brought what I consider a much better game plan to the table than you normally see from Marth. You normally see them just kind of doing regular dash dances, and you'll see them walling out Pikachu, kind of the way they might try to wall out a Peach. But in terms of their spacing, they always seem to be treating it like Fox, and they always seem to be like down tilting and like pressuring the ground space when Pikachu, when he does go for his approach, like it's usually going to be in the air. Which is why even though Mew2King did a couple like random F smashes, like I still think that's better than doing down tilt in a situation where like you're reading an approach from Pikachu. It's not like Fox or Peach where they're really looking to stay on the ground until the last second. Peach might be a weird comparison to do. So let's just say it's not like Fox where like he's looking to stay on the ground until the moment he's tries to start his aerial because he just doesn't go very far once he leaves the ground. Pikachu goes like half the stage, so he's going to get in the air much sooner, and down tilt's going to whiff. So those random F smashes like aren't bad, and like that's one of the few things that's going to kill Axe. So throwing them out from here and there so that he actually has to respect it is always a good thing. And then when you get grabs like this, it's crazy. But uh, so the fact that we saw a nice game plan like that from Mew2King helped highlight just how well Axe actually outspaces Marth. I when you look at Leffen and the way that he tends to get hit by Marths and get combos started against him, he's usually spacing like right outside Marth's range, which is a good player thing to do. It's a really good habit to have. But the fact is, Marth just gets so much off of it, and Fox doesn't have less ability than Pikachu to get in after the forward airs or neutral airs and punish it. So really, you don't need to stand that close. And Axe doesn't. He stays outside until he stays outside. He baits. He fakes going in here and there, and then he he gets in and he stays in. Like there's no doubt in my mind that if Mew2King hadn't gotten that bizarre grab, that Axe would have immediately gone for another nair back towards center stage. So he gets in, he keeps the pressure on. He knows it's not easy for Marth to get out of just straight up repeated cross up nairs without hard committing to something. And if Axe is spacing his cross up nairs right, it's actually really hard for Marth to get that punish unless he's ready to shield grab when Pikachu is crossing from behind to in front. Like that's the only thing. Or and he could also fair out of shield, but like he has to be quick about it. And Axe knows that almost no Marths are prepared to do that. So he just does that cross up nair pressure, tries to bait out a hard, like a heavy commitment out of shield option, and then punish that. So overall, just it's kind of insane to see. And it's a lot clearer here than it is against some players that kind of let Axe just get in chip damage by not giving him the proper spacing on their dash dances, or rather by relying on dash dance, which just doesn't get far enough away. Cool. Well, I just rambled for a lot with absolutely nothing to help illustrate my point. So now that I've done all of that, I hope this helped a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to do too many of these, but I hope if I do that I can keep them a little bit more brief. Like I said, if I go back to like a full set, I will pick out a couple things to track throughout the set rather than just like pausing at every interaction and playing the whole thing in slow-mo and all that crap I'm doing right now. But since I've been critiquing someone, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. but someone else started being active in the Facebook group doing match analysis, and they're doing pretty good. And I was critiquing, and I realized it had been quite a while since I've done it. So I wanted to kind of get back in the swing of things as I'm giving him advice and pretending that I'm better than him at it. Uh, no, not better than him, but pretending more that I'm more experienced, I guess would be more accurate. But hopefully all this helps. Once again, I'm Marsh. Please join the Pikachu Melee R&D Facebook group if you're interested in learning more about Pikachu, talking to other Pikachu mains, seeing match analysis, possibly by myself, but also by others who are starting to be active, or contributing your own match analyses or other forms of Pikachu research. So thank you for watching. Sorry this ended up dragging on so long. There's definitely a bit of me just kind of freaking out over how bizarre certain interactions were, or how smart certain options that they took were. But uh, yeah, have a good one, and hope to see you again.